so dad jokes are officially on hold. Okay? Because we are going to jump into Rev talking about this Gaming While Black movie, which I've never even actually heard of it. Oh, it's a production in progress. Oh, okay. This is something in progress. Oh, this is gonna be a shit show. This is gonna be Revan. I never did either, but apparently this is in production. Supposedly. So this is going to be an absolute shit show, and I'm here for it. So let's find out just how fucking bad. Let's just see how DEI soaked this movie is.
Hey, what's up, guys? Riff here. So today we have quite the series of
I don't
rabbit
know,
holes we're going to be
Big- I
going
don't know,
down,
Big Dog.
beginning with this tweet right here, sharing a preview of a film titled Gaming While Black. And of course, it sounds just the way it's described. It is black people describing their experience as a gamer. And in this case, one particular person, I guess, is adjacent. We'll get into that, don't worry. But in this, we're going to cover some of the points they're trying to make in this preview. We're also going to look at the people involved with the production of this film and how many of them are connected to some current gaming drama going on. So without further ado, let's get a little sneak peek of Gaming While Black.
The best ideas come out of not being the same.
So this is a documentary.
Along the way of like, oh, wait a minute, there's me in here somewhere. You want people to just recognize that this is important without the extra gasoline on the fire.
Okay, so there's a lot of points there. Beginning with the whole, there's a lot of me in there with these games. And as always, I think this push for mirrored representation in every single piece of media consumed is ridiculous. If you want some me in there, why don't you play a round of real life mirror simulator and just go to find the nearest mirror and stare at it until you're bored. You'll feel lots of representation.
Okay, like, yeah, I take Rev's point here is I don't mind. I'm actually okay with a game every now and then where it's, you know, it's done in a way where people can go, I can recognize myself as this character. Like, I don't actually have a blanket hatred of that concept of being able to see yourself in a character that you play in a video game. Sometimes that can be interesting or can be thought. It can, if the game is done well. The problem is, this is basically the seeing myself in the video game has become the standard for these individuals, where a game cannot be fun unless they see themselves in it. The problem is these people who want to see themselves in the game are in the minority of gamers. Having a game where you play the game and you can kind of go, huh, I can see myself in the game there. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But it shouldn't be the focus of the game. It should essentially be a happy little accident. Honestly. So being able to see yourself in the game should be a happy little accident. It should not be the core tenet behind the very crafting of the game in and of itself. Because if that's what you make as the core feature, the game is gonna suck. Guaranteed. Every great game that has had people going, I can see myself as the main character, the focus of the game was not on that facet of it. That was not the intention of the game. The intention of the game was to be fun and tell a great story. So, the fixation on we want, and we hear this from these game devs that make these absolute dog shit games, is they say, we want our customers to be able to see themselves in the main character, and it's like, well, okay, then you're not making a game for people to have fun. That's the problem. The game you're making is not designed to be fun. You're basically making the game to cater to identity politics, which is fucking stupid for a video game, and it's no big surprise that people are not going to pay for it, especially when you insult them. That's the core of it. These types of companies insult their customer base. So yeah, they're not gonna spend money on you, jackass. Anyway, I'm throwing off the handle. We're only a minute 20 in, so let's keep going. We got a lot of this video to go through, and I'm sure it's gonna cook.
With that. But anyways, it seems very clear to a lot of people in this documentary and also on Twitter and other places like that, that representation plays an equal or even greater value than actual storytelling or characters or gameplay. And that's a really weird thing, and it's pretty hard to take people like that seriously. On top of that, this mention of gasoline on the fire. The people putting gasoline on the fire is the gaming industry, at least the bad parts.
Yeah. Craven? That's exactly the point. We brought up, I didn't say that because we have said this, to your point, we have said this every time this issue's come up, in that it's basically almost getting to be a tired trope, is yes, people play video games almost specifically because they don't want to see themselves in the game. They want to be something different. They want to be that character in the video game because that character is not them. Games, like television, are a means to escape from reality for a little while. Because I know this is going to shock everyone, reality tends to fucking suck. More often than not, reality kind of fucking sucks these days. Unless you are very fortunate or very blessed in that your life does not, in which case, I applaud you. Wonderful. I'm very happy for you. For a lot of people, especially these days, life and reality really kind of fucking sucks. And so people use entertainment as a means to escape from reality. So we can maintain the small bit of happiness we might still hold on to. For me, I play video games. Yes, I like my video games. I love being a fuel rat and helping people in the League Dangerous, because guess what? The reality is, I am not a space commander flying a spaceship. Shocking, I know. I know this is renting your concept of my reality asunder. I'm sorry, it is the truth. I'm not actually a space commander and a fuel rat. I don't actually finish stream and then jump in my spaceship and take off for Alpha Centauri to go rescue people that are flying to Hutton Orbital because they think there's this mysterious free anaconda there. I'm sorry. I know this shatters all your realities. It's not true. It's a game. Yeah. And like, my life is like, me, like, between video games and streaming, my life is pretty good. Since I started streaming, my life has greatly improved. I've become a much happier person as I'm streaming. But I know a lot of people life is not fun for them. And, games and generalized entertainment is something to try and make life enjoyable, or at least worth enduring. And that's why they don't want to see themselves. They don't want to see reality reflected in their video games. Because for a lot of people, their reality sucks. And the video games is a means of escaping from it. And that's not a bad thing.
Of the gaming industry, whether it's developers, journalists, what have you, making very disparaging statements about gamers. And 2024 really proved just how bad it can get with all of the bad actors causing a lot of trouble and damaging the reputations of a lot of studios because they can't keep their mouth shut. Like, how are you supposed to react as a gamer when people in the industry are openly saying they hate you? That's adding gasoline on the fire. Everything that is involved with these bad actors, everything they do is about race and dividing people. And this film is literally dividing people. It's putting labels on gamers. They're not just gamers, they're black gamers now. We're literally separating people by race. And also, if you're interested...
Yeah, there's a full-on organization called black girl gamers. That is a real thing. Like, there is becoming this literal separation of gamers by their gender and or their race. When the reality, and bearing in mind, that's those specific people because they're brain dead. This is the DEI brain rotted people that are separating gamers by race, by ethnicity, and gender. Yes, it is, Alex. It's called segregation. And last I heard, that was supposed to be a bad thing. The last I knew about it, segregation was actually a bad thing. But now apparently DEI is telling me, oh no, it's not. Apparently DEI is telling me we should be striving for it. Good thing I don't listen to DEI. But the crazy part is, here's the craziest part. All of these DEI fucksticks that like to try and facilitate this separation, what they are agreeing for, supposedly, is already present with gamers. Okay? Gamers already, before DEI was ever a thing, was a beautiful melting pot conglomerate of everyone. Okay, Connie, have a good night. Gamers were of every gender and of every ethnicity under the sun. Because gamers don't fucking care what you look like outside of the game. They care about how well you play the game, and they care about your communication in the game. They don't care about your skin color. They don't care about your gender. They don't care about your sexuality. They don't care about your gender identity. None of it. They don't care. Gamers are probably one of the, gamers are what DEI needs to aspire to be. Instead of trying to dictate to gamers what they think they should be. Gamers already had actual, legitimate, positive DEI on lock before DEI ever became a thing. And it was only with the absolute bullshit on the stick that was the original Gamergate, which was a fucking lie. Don't forget about that. Don't forget that, Gamergate is what started all this, and Gamergate was a fucking lie. Never forget about that. But gamers already had the actual equality and diversity on lock before this thing ever came to fruition.
Interested, this is the individual right here. He said that, oh, that's me, right? This James Davis individual, and come to find out,
and of course,
they work
Blue
at
Sky.
Naughty Dog. And with the intergalactic
Blue Sky.
drama going on, doesn't it all add up? Also, they were the creative director at Rooster Teeth, which, I guess they creatively directed Rooster Teeth to the grave because they shut down in 2024. But let's continue on with the preview here.
I want to see more creators that look like me.
There's been a lot of examples of representation of.
Did you hear that? Right, Gamergate was basically some bullshit thing that the media concocted to say that women were getting pushed out of gaming, which was bullshit. It was, I never followed Gamergate in and of itself. I've heard about it, tangentially. But supposedly women were getting pushed out of the gaming space. And I think a very, very, very small percentage of women were bitching and moaning about getting pushed out of the gamer space when that didn't actually happen. And the media blew it way the fuck out of proportion and started calling it Gamergate because everything has to be a something gate these days. And it was basically bullshit. It was the media playing fuck around to generate ratings. And none of it was true. That's basically it. What? I want you to hear something. Listen to this again. He says it kind of quietly, so you're going to have to listen.
More creators that look like me.
But let's continue on with the preview here.
I want to see more creators that look like me.
There's been a lot of.
Did you hear? He said it very low. He said, I want to see more creators that look like me. Not, I want to see more creators that can bring creativity, that can do a great job, that can put together fantastic games. No, I want to see more creators that look like me. What the? Out of the fucking gate. Wrong attitude. Out of the fucking gate, that is an attitude that will tank your fucking company. Then, yes, Mouse, it is. And I've said this. These people that do this shit where they fixate on race are racists. The ones that say we don't want white people because white people fuck up everything, that's racist. Oh, I know, Shadowspur. I know. So you'd think he'd learn. Because he made this video, I think this is in progress, and this was made after Rooster Teeth went through the floor. Rooster Teeth has been gone for, how long has Rooster Teeth been gone for? I don't even remember, because I never really followed when that whole company went under. But this in progress movie is made afterwards. So obviously he has zero self-fucking-awareness. Yeah. And he wants more devs that look like him instead of being good, creative people. Exactly, J-Tech. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter what the fuck a dev looks like, what they identify as, who they like to fuck, unless it's, of course, young people, which obviously that's illegal, and that I don't want. But I don't care what a game dev's ethnicity is. I don't care what their gender identity is. I don't care who they like to fuck, as long as they are consenting adults. As long as they can do the fucking job and do it well. That's all that should matter.
Continue on with the preview here.
I want to see more creators that look like me.
There's been a lot of examples of representation of Black people in games that have rubbed me the wrong way.
Okay.
Like?
So what she's saying is there's a representation of Black people in gaming that have rubbed her and others the wrong way. Well, yeah.
Okay. I want a fucking example of that. I want an example of her idea of what representation of Black people in video games has rubbed her the wrong way. Because, cite your fucking sources or go fuck yourself. Because God knows there are plenty of black characters in video games that are beloved. Absolutely fucking beloved. The GTA franchise. Yes. I never played the series, so someone help me out. From Gears of War. It's not Marcus, is it? From Gears of War? The one character, he's your character. Coltrane, thank you. I've never played Gears of War, so I don't know the name. Yeah, cool. A beloved character that doesn't, I've heard a lot of people, when he died in Gears of War, people cried. There are Sergeant Johnson. Yes, excuse me. We could probably list off a fuck ton of Black characters in video games that people love. A fuck ton. So please, do not pull this bullshit of there's the black rep. I don't like the Black representation in video game unless you cite some kind of fucking source. Okay? Cite a fucking source or shut the fuck up.
A lot of people have called that out, actually. People like me, other YouTubers, people on social media, gamers in general have called out a lot of these bad representations of Black people in video games. Because really, the representation, at least recently, of Black people in video games is bad. It needs to be improved because it's done so haphazardly. Here's the thing. Okay, anytime there is a new Black character that's typically the protagonist or something like that, it's attached to a game that is virtue signaling. We see games like Dustborn, right? And it makes this very bad feedback loop of pushing out these characters with games that are awful. And really, they're just kind of there because it's part of the virtue signal. I think that's not fair. And also, the majority of black representation in video games recently has been lazy race swaps. And that is very offensive because what it's saying...
And leave us not forget, they're not calling that out. These DEIs that are screaming for black representation in games are very happy to race swap out white characters for black characters. They are very happy to basically co-opt an existing white character in a franchise and make them black. They cheer that. What would you not say, instead of basically just standing on the shoulders of existing greatness, we create our own original thing? They're not why are they not calling that out? Why are they not calling out the fact that like Rev said, Rev is right about this, the games that these people consider poor black representation are just dog shit games. They're ignoring the fact that the game in and of itself in total is dog shit and therefore you're getting poor representation. Because historically, there are hundreds, possibly thousands of games that have wonderful representation for black people. Some of the most beloved characters in video game history are black characters. But they'll ignore that. Why? Because then they can't virtue signal. Then they cannot gaslight and say, you must love this shit that we're putting out. That's what it boils down to. They want to keep putting out shit games, but they want to try and force gamers to say, yes, we love it. And the problem is, gamers are going to go, it's my money. I don't fucking think so. Kindly go fuck yourself. I'm going to play a 10-year-old game.
What am I, chopped liver to all are ya?
Wait, I thought Demo Man was a bald white guy. Granted, I haven't played TF2, so I don't know the character. Oh wait, that's an engineer. Sorry, I'm thinking of the engineer. My mistake. Sorry, I got the characters mixed up.
Recently has been lazy race swaps. And that is very offensive because what it's saying is that you're not worthy of having an original story with an original character that's actually good. Instead, these studios say, nope, you just deserve a lazy race swap that we're doing to earn virtue signaling points, and you better be happy about it.
Correct, now.
I find that very...
Correct. And this is another thing I've said, and yes, I'm pausing Rev a lot. I'm sorry. I've said this before, and I've said this with both video games and with movies. African culture is very rich in its history and its mythology. There are a lot of African myths and fairy tales out there that you can work with. Hollywood and the game industry. There are hundreds or thousands of myths and fairy tales from Africa that you could turn into a mainstream project of some sort. Make a movie about one of these myths or fairy tales. Make a video game that focuses on these myth or fairy tales for the games. There is a fuck ton of content out there just waiting for someone to pluck. And no one does. Because it's far easier to just co-opt other franchises. That's the crux of it. It's easier to co-opt the franchise that has a non-black central lead and put them in as a central lead. It's easier. You don't have to think. You don't have to get creative. And that's where the problem lies, is these people are not creative. And Leo, I would actually say that I would question whether or not Black Panther is the best example of African cultural representation. I would kind of argue that because that's Marvel. Black Panther is a Marvel property. It is not based upon a legit African myth or fairy tale. And that's what I'm talking about. Is actual, like, for fuck's sake, the Zulu culture. Okay? Zulus were Africa's premier fucking warriors for so fucking long. Why not tap into the African Zulu culture? You want to get a badass fighter from Africa? Do something with that. Yes, they were absolute badasses, and they are an untapped story resource right there. Why has no one gone that route? Black Panther tried to do it a little bit because you could see like a couple of flavors of the Zulu culture with Black Panther, like with the fights that they had, but actually like go full whole hog. Well, Andrea, then you know what? They get what they deserve. Like, if a studio is going to be called out for cultural appropriation because they want to tell the story of an African fable or anything like that, then they need to hand over their balls and get out of the industry. Because you know what? Not everyone is going to like or approve of what you do. You're always going to get the outliers saying, this sucks, how dare you do this, especially now. Tough call, Alex. I don't know. I think I don't know. I don't know if Assassin's Creed Origins would be considered yay or nay. I've never actually played Assassin's Creed Origins, so I don't want to say yes or no on that because I've never played it, and I don't really know anything about it. Anyway, yeah, I'm getting way off track, and of course I'm yapping a lot about this, so let's jump back in.
Very offensive, and people like me have been calling that out for a very long time, but because people like that don't agree with us, they don't like our message, they won't acknowledge that's going on. And also on top of that, we have seen countless examples of Black people who criticize these points, right? They go against the narrative that's being shared in videos like this, and everyone around them, the tolerant people, immediately turn on them and call them Uncle Toms and all these other horrible things. It happens over and over again.
The moment I heard like, oh, we don't want to help you because we don't know that many Black folks, I was like, okay, fine, I'll do it myself.
I'm gonna be real, I don't think that happened, but what?
I'm sorry, what? I want to hear that again. I want to fucking hear that again.
Again.
The moment I heard like, oh, we don't want to help you because we don't know that many Black folks, I was like, okay, fine.
Lie. That is a motherfucking lie. This is a game studio. If you present them with a good idea, they're not going to turn it down because, quote, we don't know many Black folk. Bull fucking shit. So now this guy is gaslighting the fuck out of this, trying to make it seem like the game industry in and of itself is racist. That's what he's doing. He's gaslighting and he's fucking lying. Cause game companies do not fucking care about that. They care about, is this going to make us money? That's what they care about. At least on the macro level. Yes, you're going to probably have some in the micro level that pull this bullshit. On the macro level, they like money. That's why they're in the industry. Oh, duh. Elwin, I don't doubt it. I'm fucking pissed hearing it, and I'm not in the industry.
Fine, I'll do it myself.
I'm gonna be real, I don't think that happened, but whatever. It just
no, it didn't.
It's just
He's
a small
bullshit.
comment here, but yeah, press X to doubt on that one. Also, can we talk about the audio on this? I don't know if it's just me, but the audio on this is atrocious. I don't know if Twitter fried it or something, but also the music is way too loud compared to the actual speaking. But anyways.
Yeah, that music is loud. Is
Alyssa
that Alyssa?
Mercante jump scare.
It was Alyssa! Okay, that's pretty fucking bad that I can see her from a back angle and just go, oh, that's Alyssa Mercante. How easy it is to identify her. Because of course she's in this fucking video. Yeah, Alex, the same. It's only playing in my left ear too. I'm there with you. Oh, I hope she says something really stupid as normal. That would just be like the frosting on this shit cake right now.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. In the Gaming While Black film, we're going to be hearing from Alyssa Mercante. She's going to speak in just a second, but this is quite unbelievable. Bro
this
thinks
fun.
She's on the team. It's so crazy. This is like a male feminist trying to speak on female issues, speaking over women. That's the type of vibe we're getting here. But there's something about this, right, that's very confusing. So we've seen multiple examples here of Alyssa Mercante setting this up. This has been in works for quite some time, and she has this photo with two people involved with this. So you have this Aaron Shawnee person who's private. I don't know, typical person involved in the industry, probably got criticized once and immediately privated their account. But then we have Jamal Page, who's the creative director and producer at Black Sparrow Pro, which is making this this film. And he had this to say, quoting the picture, saying, "When I think badass, I'm going to think Alyssa Mercante now."
Really? Now. So he has no standards. I'm sorry, if you think Alyssa Mercante is badass, dude, you need to get out more. You 100% need to get out more if you think she is what is considered a badass. This is a person who publicly said, I will fight someone that disagrees with me. I will literally physically fight someone. Let's fucking go. She got called out by a fucking YouTuber, Vera Dark, who, to my understanding, is not a very physical person. Vera Dark is rather unassuming from a physical stature standpoint. She's not an athlete, and Vera Dark said that when and where all proceeds are going to go to charity. And Alyssa Mercante fell all over herself and twisted herself into a Peruvian knot to get out of the fight. Well, really poorly, pathetically, trying to make it sound like she was the victor in all of this. Yeah, she fell all over herself trying to get out of it. It was so pathetic. And not only that, Zero Dark is not the only one that challenged her. There was another woman that challenged her. I forget who it was. I think she's a streamer. I don't recall exactly. But Alyssa didn't even address her because the other woman that called her out on it is like a 2-time fucking judo champion and literally posted in response to Alyssa Mercante a photo of her 2 first place judo trophies and said, let's fucking go. And Alyssa Mercante didn't even respond to that one. She only responded to Vera Dark. And no, it wasn't Melanie Mac. It was not. It was not a well-known streamer or anything. To the life of me, I can't remember the name of the individual of this woman that the judo champion. I don't know, Potato. I honestly cannot remember. But Vera Dark is the only one she responded to, and she fell all over herself, backpedaling and eating shit as fast as she could to get out of the fight, coming up with excuses, trying to claim that that Vera Dark would call the police on her if if they fought or some actual bullshit. Yeah, she openly challenged anybody. And people just went, cool, let's fucking go. Time and place, I'm in. And she didn't shut up. She just backpedaled and ate shit like fucking crazy. And it went away. People just clowned on Alyssa Mercante for a while. And it's like, it's kind of just gone, you never heard about it ever again. But chat, never forget, she pulled this bullshit. She acted all tough.
Put 'em up, why iota. Cheer 100.
Never forget, chat. When she was surrounded by her slorping, gorping DEI sycophants on that stage on whenever, I forget what fucking show she was on where she did this. That's when she had the stones to actually say, and she literally said, come fight me, she pulled some bullshit about, like, that the gaming space is diverse already, which, bullshit, I'm sorry, she doesn't believe that for a second. She doesn't believe anything she says. And then she said, if you don't like it, you can fight me physically. And then followed up with a bitch. And of course, her sycophantic co-host was like, has anybody actually challenged you on that? And she said, no, because they're all pussies. And literally, the moment that video came out, people were going, bitch, I'll fight you right fucking now. Let's fucking go. And of course, she backed off instantaneously.
Now, yeah, bro's been compromised at this point. I don't know what this is. Is it just like he has a very bad judge of character with her? Is he not seeing how she's perceived? Because including her in this whole thing,
Cortana,
not only is it just funny from the optics, right? She's speaking...
Yeah, Cortana, I know she's dragging him through court because of those statements that she's deleting, which is going to be seen as evidence tampering. That's not going to go well for her.
In a documentary or a film that's supposed to be about black gamers, but also she has a very negative, toxic reputation, and it's going to bring a lot of heat onto this, and heat that is not going to translate into any sort of tangible support. But I don't know, again, misjudgment of her character or just openly embracing who she is. Either way, it's not a very good look, but let's continue on.
Just because, like, I happen to be black doesn't mean, like, get to show, like, black things. Like, oh, like, he listens to rap, he likes basketball. Like, I grew up playing baseball. I love hockey.
That's racist. That's literally racist. To make the assumption that everybody thinks because you're black, you like, and yes, I'm pulling out tropes here, that are tropes. They are not fact. It is fucking racist to say, oh, people must think because I'm black, I like fried chicken, and I like grape soda, and I like basketball, and I'm slinging drugs, and I live in the hood. All of that shit is bullshit. And you, good sir, being fucking racist to assume, because let's not fuck with it. He is aiming these comments at white people. Let us not bullshit around here. What he just said is aimed at white people. And he's basically saying that white people look at a black man and think they like fried chicken, they like watermelon, they like grape soda, they like playing basketball, and to the other extremes of they sling dope and they are poor. That's racist to think that every white person thinks that way. Instead of the majority of white people that see a black person and go, okay, they're black. Next. I know nothing about them, so I'm going to make no judgment about them. So, while people like him love to cry and moan about racism, he's being fucking racist. And I will point that out every fucking time. Because it is a goddamn two-way street.
Canadian.
Ding, ding, ding. Bro spitting. That great. I'm glad we all agree. That's something that people like myself and many others have said over and over again, what's most important is the quality of the character, not, pigeonholing these stereotypical traits just to give what some people believe is good representation. No, just focus on making a character good, and then things like the race of the character are just like secondary traits that shouldn't be the main focus.
And Robo, they'll jump. Yeah, the stereotype, mind you, is that they'll jump into any woman who opens up their legs for them, and will father about 50 kids and like just dump them all. Yeah, that is a stereotype. It's happened often enough that the stereotype exists, but most logically thinking people don't ascribe that stereotype to literally every fucking black person that they meet. They understand that it's a stereotype for a reason, but they don't actually look at every black person that they meet and think, oh yeah, they are like that. Because people are not that fucking stupid, generally speaking. Well, Alex, that was implied with dumping the kids and going away. That was implied on that.
And that statement has been criticized by people in the industry. A lot of the people even involved in this film, they've dismissed it as something that is racist or intolerant, when it's literally just a fair opinion. I think leads to actual high quality representation by making a good character and then having the other traits to go along with it.
I know, Xanax.
It's very, very strange. And also, I see the irony here, too, of him saying he doesn't like these stereotypical traits. And then in the background, there's hip-hop music playing. Like, very ironic, unfortunately.
Just make the person great who just happens to be black.
I'm sorry, I paused it a couple seconds too early. There it is.
I felt good.
Make a great person just happens to be black. And you can say that about every other race of video game characters, and it all works out good. That's how you make a...
And that's what people actually want. That's what gamers have actually been crowing for. Okay? Gamers have been crowing for just make a good fucking game, make good characters, and they just happen to be insert ethnicity here, or insert gender here, or insert sexuality or sexual identity here. Gamers don't give a fuck about the identity politics. They just want a good game with good fucking characters, and they don't care what the character looks like, or sounds like, or what their sexuality is, or what their identity is. They do not fucking care. And they have been screaming this for years. And the gaming industry is basically just sticking their fingers in their ears and going, la la la, I can't hear you, la la la, DEI, la la la. They've been doing this for fucking years. And then blaming their abject failure on these mythical racist, misogynist, phobias, whatever the fuck isms. Because, I don't know, entitlement. Fuck if I know what the reason is. It doesn't make any fucking sense to me because they're allergic to making money, I guess.
Good game, good story, and a good character. That's all there is to it.
Sometimes to write for black voices, you need a black voice behind it.
That's not true. There are countless examples, I don't think this is hard to believe, where white people have written good black characters and black people have written good white characters. I don't think that's too...
Point of note. Chat. Cleveland Brown of Family Guy fame. Would you all agree, and I know what you guys are going to say, don't say it yet. I know what you're going to say, but don't say it. Cleveland Brown of Family Guy fame. Would you not say that he was a humorous and enjoyable, in the context of Family Guy, which is it's Family Guy, a funny, enjoyable, entertaining representation of a black character? Would you say that? That when Cleveland on screen, yes, he was funny, but he was also, there was some heart to it, there was some heart to his character, and overall he was an enjoyable character, but was not pigeonholed as a stereotype. or racist. Yeah, the character was fucking written by a white guy and voiced by a white guy. How about that? When people make something that is deliberately designed to be entertaining and not to fit a DEI checklist, it doesn't fucking matter what the ethnicity of the creator is. Shocking, am I right? Yes, Seth MacFarlane text. Seth MacFarlane was the writer. Mike Henry was the voice of Cleveland, and he is a white guy. And no, you can't do it anymore because God fucking forbid that a person of a specific ethnicity is not voiced by someone of that ethnicity. It's their fucking voice. Who fucking cares what their ethnicity is? But because DEI is so, and all of these, all these SJAs are so absolutely fucking obsessed with racism and cultural appropriation, which most of them don't even fucking know what culture. Most of the people that are screaming cultural appropriation do not even fucking know what that means. They do not. These SJA racists that scream cultural appropriation don't even know what it means. It is another fucking buzzword that they just vomit out at the slightest provocation. Kind of like they vomit out every Istophobianism that they spit out. And it means absolutely nothing now.
Big of a claim to say. I mean, just look at the classic example people bring up. Who made Black Panther? A white dude. I mean, that's really all you need to know, and that's been going on throughout media for a very long time. So I just think that's kind of a ridiculous point to make.
Oh yeah, Big Dog, Selma, and Daphne. Don't forget, they make Daphne Asian. Yeah, like according to these people, it is perfectly fine, perfectly acceptable, and actually encouraged to basically completely fuck over a white character and destroy a white character or completely replace them with a black character. And I will post this. I posted this before. I will post it again, and I'll continue to post it. Take everything that's said in this video and change the ethnicity to white. Do you think it would be so lauded as being strong and brave if all of this was replaced, if they replaced black people with white people? How do you think that would go over? Okay? So I got, the whole thing with Black Panther. Suggest to anyone that the next actor to play Black Panther should be a white guy. Suggest it and watch their fucking head explode from the reading. Honestly, that might be pretty fucking entertaining.
So dramatic.
We stand with the people who work at our studio. We stand with a more diverse industry.
No, you don't.
We support the concept of a more diverse industry, telling more diverse stories.
The industry doesn't need diversity. Mercante. You don't need diversity. You need talented fucking people. You stupid ass white savior bitch. 'Cause that's what she is. She has got the biggest goddamn white savior complex. That's why she's doing this. She thinks that if I do all this diversity shit, that people will laud me as being a wonderful human being and look at how much I'm doing for these poor, unfortunate minorities. It is 100 a white savior complex that she has got. And again, You don't need fucking diversity in the gaming industry. Diversity is nice. Sure. But you need talent. You need creative people that can tell creative stories. You need talented people, like artists, to do up your games. That is what you need. And right now, the gaming industry is in desperate need of talented people, not more diverse people. If you keep pushing, we need to put more. If the gaming industry keeps insisting that their games are failing because they need to push more diversity, they will continue to fail. And you know what? Let them. I will be happy to toast marshmallows over the dumpster fire that is their former company when it crashes and burns. And in the meantime, I will be having fun flying around the galaxy in my Mandalay in a 10-year-old game that is getting more popular every fucking day.
Stories, there's plenty of games out there for you to buy. If you don't like this, don't buy it.
Unbelievable. Instant.
Yeah, if you don't like it, don't buy it. But if you don't buy it, we're going to scream and call you racist and misogynist and homophobic. I'm sorry. She's talking out both sides of her ass on this one. And by that I do mean her mouth. Because the gaming industry has been doing this for years. Where they will say, oh, well, if you don't like it, don't buy it. And then nobody buys it. And then they go, well, why aren't you buying our game, you fucking racists? It's like, dude, you told us if we don't like it, don't buy it. Go fuck yourself and, enjoy the unemployment line. Yes, Elite Dangerous has been out for 10 years. It just celebrated its 10th anniversary. Indeed. And it's still going strong. It's getting new stuff all the time. And more people are jumping into it all the time. It is seeing a surge in popularity. Exactly, Tex. It's only racist when it's our games that are not being bought. You have to spend your hard-earned money, which is in short supply these days. I will remind everybody. This is not a great age of economic enjoyment for the planet right now. Everybody's budgets are tight. Everybody is being very careful with their money. And so they have to be very selective about what they want to spend their disposable income on. And if they do not wish to spend their finite disposable income on your shit game because it looks like shit and every review you've heard about it is it's shit, you have zero right to call these people istophobics. Because they don't want to play your shit game and they have made the choice with their money. It's not a complex equation here.
If you don't like this, don't buy it.
Unbelievable. Instant meme right there. That last statement. We'll get to that in just a second.
Seismic? I'm sorry, I'm pausing Rev a lot. I'm sorry, Rev. Seismic, yes. Is Elite perfect? No, I'm not going to call any game perfect. Is it a lot of fun? And is it a great game? I absolutely consider it a great game. Yes. And I don't know, chat, you can check for Seismic if it's still on sale in Steam. But even full price, Elite is not expensive. It's actually, on the scale of things, it's reasonably cheap, like maybe $20. And it's a full one-to-one representation of the Milky Way galaxy. It might even be on sale right now. They do sales for it fairly frequently. Check it out. It's a lot of fun.
But there's so much to unpack with Alyssa Mercante and her contribution to this Gaming While Black film. Number one, she talks about hating or
I'll rewind it because I've been talking over Reb. Yeah, Seismic, just make sure you watch my lessons that I put on YouTube. I'm doing an Elite Dangerous Academy series on YouTube. So make sure you watch.
To unpack with Alyssa Mercante and her contribution to this gaming while black film. Number one, she talks about hating or wanting to support more diverse stories. No, you don't. Because if you support diverse stories, that means you support all stories. And you would not, 100% would not support a white story because she hates white people. It's very obvious.
Yes,
she
she's
says
racist.
You can't be racist against white people. She has many tweets disparaging white.
Which just proves she's racist. She's literally racist against her own ethnicity. Which we've seen before. We've seen plenty of people that are racist against their own ethnicity, which is just peak brain rot. But there's a reason why she has garnered the nickname that I have given to her. This is but one of those reasons.
White people invoking or telling people to beat up white people, saying old white men don't belong in the industry, all of the...
I'm training a competitive racist today, and I've heard 1,000 reasons why whites are the problem, and his biggest reason was, there's too many whites in the gaming industry, cheer 100.
Really beats. Oh, Mike. Yeah, and my guess is if you actually asked him for receipts to back up that statement, he would not have been able to provide you any. Kieran fucking Teed, whenever somebody puts out a blanket statement like that, if you ask them, like, okay, cite your source, they can't. It is their source is a trust me, bro. Yeah, oh, that's beats. I knew that was going to be the case. His source was trust me, bro. In which case, you just kind of just look at him and go, cool. So nothing you say is going to have any legitimacy from now on. Thank you for letting me know that I should not take anything you say at face value. Appreciate that.
These things. It's very clear those stories don't matter her, so she does not support
a
diverse
white story
stories.
is anything involving
now, this
white
other
people.
part here about support,
even if there's
right?
other ethnicities involved. Basically, for context, a quote-unquote white story is any story, regardless of if the fact that there may be diverse characters involved, if the main character of a story is white, particularly a white male, particularly if it is a white straight male, that is considered a white story, regardless of the cast of characters surrounding them and how diverse or not diverse they may be. If the main character is a straight white man, it is called a white story.
Stories. Now, this other part here about support, right? We support these narratives, support films like the one we're talking about today. The support just isn't there. It really isn't. We've seen a lot of...
Let's see. Above all, the purpose of this film is to elevate Black voices that are already doing the work to create a more inclusive space within the community of gaming, while also starting a conversation around solutions that will help remove roadblocks for future Black gamers and creators. I'm seeing a whole lot of fucking buzzwords in this paragraph that are absolutely fucking meaningless. Elevate Black voices, more inclusive space, starting a conversation, solutions that will help remove roadblocks. That is 1, 2, 3, 4 buzzwords. This is a paragraph made almost entirely out of buzzwords, which means it's completely meaningless. They basically just vomited out a bunch of DEI speak that is meaningless. While the working title of the documentary is GWB, Gaming While Black, the sentiment behind that is meant to convey how being Black or African American in a gaming space can often feel like existing within an opposing community. Bullshit. Bull fucking shit. Cite your goddamn source, you racist. Cite your source. Because, I'm sorry, I have not actually heard the fallacy that the gaming industry is a white male-dominated industry, for fuck's sake, Ubisoft has proven with photos that their entire goddamn dev teams for major games is literally 99% women and of varying ethnicities as well. And again, very conveniently avoiding very conveniently saying that there needs to be a future for Black gamers creators. Nowhere in here, absolutely nowhere in here, do we see anything that says that these supposedly suppressed Black gamers and devs are as good or better than their non-Black counterparts. Bearing in mind, you notice I say non-Black because there are many ethnicities in the gaming industry, both as devs and as gamers. But you see nowhere in this or anything that has been said thus far in this video, not once has there been mention of, we'll go from the dev standpoint, Black game devs were just as talented or possibly even more talented than some of their non-Black counterparts. That has yet to be said at all. So why would a game dev want to hire on a Black game developer simply because of their ethnicity and not because of their ability? That should be goal number one, is your ability, not your skin color. But people like this fixate on the skin color because to them, skin color is far superior to actual ability or creativity. Because they don't care about creativity. They don't care about ability. They just want to cram their specific ethnicity of choice into the industry and then be applauded for it. They literally want to skate by on their skin color. Because if they actually wanted to say, hey, Black people are just as talented in the game development industry as white people, they would say that. They would say there are tons of talented people. That, there are tons of very talented Black developers that are not getting the opportunities that they need. I have yet to hear anything about these individuals that he's talking to that they want to shove into the industry being talented. Not once. And that is very telling.
A lot of examples like with Black Girl Gamers. We've talked about that channel. On Twitter, they pop off, right? All of the activists in the industry constantly promote their stuff because it's good for their optics. But then you go to their YouTube channel and they're getting like 40 views a video. Because people who are virtue signaling as a form of support for them don't actually...
40 views! Okay, I hate to beat my own drum here, but chat, I get more views than that. A lot more views than that on my videos. Sorry, dude. The cute anime cat girl gets a fuck ton more views than you about this gaming while Black video.
Actually engage with their content. They just like how it makes them look when they comment briefly on a tweet on Twitter. Because to them, supporting an agenda is more important than supporting a person. And that shows itself time and time again. And the support for this film is a great example of this. So on the Black Sparrow Media website here, you can see the donate here link. Now, I don't know if there's just an issue on my end, but when I click on this, it gives me an error. And the most recent screenshot I could find, which was from earlier this morning.
Hang on. I will test this. So we have dual sample size. Let's see, Black Sparrow Media. Let's test it. There's the donate. Prods. I'm guessing it's in projects. Gaming while black. Okay. Okay. It's a GoFundMe. It works. Here's their current goal. They have a $5,000 goal. They've raised $370. That's it. They've raised $370. $5. We got $150 here. Wow. Yeah, 5 total donations. This is it. These are all the people that have donated. Wow. Ah! Okay.
And the most recent screenshot I could find, which was from earlier this morning, was this, right? Here is their fundraiser.
Wait.
In about a month, you can see the oldest donation being 25 days ago. In about a month, they have raised $370. $370. And only 5 total people have donated. And one of them, who gave the lion's share of this fundraiser, is anonymous. So we don't even know who that is.
It's basically, it's like 2 people. This anonymous gifter and this Alexander de Ramon. They made up the majority of the donations. These 2 people. And I'm wondering how long this has been a month. At least a month.
So this is the supports that we're seeing. I don't see Alyssa Mercante's name up here. I don't see any of the people from this film up on here, or at least the people who came to speak with the film creators. And I don't see the usual suspects on Twitter doing anything either. This is a terrible look for everyone involved with this. It shows that these people, they like to virtue signal, but when it comes to put up or shut up in terms of money, they just don't show up. And it's pretty crazy that they get so little support. And also, looking at the Black Sparrow Media account here, this is the team making this film, 61 followers. I'm not saying that to dunk on them, who cares how many followers they have, but in terms of supporting, wouldn't the whole crop of these activists be rallying behind this account?
Hang on. I have to check. Hang on. Chat. 61 followers. And I barely use Twitter. I barely fucking use Twitter. Okay, Coyote, have a good night. I realize I'm I realize I'm kind of flexing, but I'm taking this from the point of view of I don't even use Twitter except to make announcements for my stream. And I literally have 100 times the followers that this Black Sparrow Media has. That is bad. Either they're not making any effort to try and promote their company or their product, or people just don't give a fuck. That is... Check the YouTube? Somebody check the YouTube. Go ahead, somebody check the YouTube.
Only 61 followers? And I look at the follower count, because or who's following them, right? I didn't see anyone, hardly anyone from the film actually following this group, which they're trying to support by participating in it. They care way more about having this cameo and being on public display than actually supporting the person.
Wait, someone go on the Black Sparrow Media's Twitter and tell me if Alyssa Mercante follows Black Sparrow Media. No, you know what? I will do that. I must know. Here we go. Is Alyssa Mercante in here anywhere? Chat, you look too. If I miss her, let me know. I don't see her anywhere. I don't see her anywhere in here. So, Alyssa Mercante, dear big star. Yeah, you're right. Masters. Nope. Even Alyssa Mercante, who is like their big highlighted star in this documentary, does not follow them. That's fucking pathetic.
And the group who is making it, and I think that just shows, again, everything is so
Hi,
performative.
Hoseki.
But also I want to go back to the end of that clip where she makes this meme-worthy quote right here.
There's plenty of games out there for you to buy. If you don't like this, don't buy it.
That is hilarious. I'm so glad that it's Cabrutus Rambo here who's sharing that clip, because the irony of what Alyssa Mercante is saying is just through the roof, okay? So the entire movement of Sweet Baby Inc. Detected, the Steam group that Cabrutus set up, was to list games that Sweet Baby Inc. was a part of, and then people would choose whether or not to play that game, knowing Sweet Baby worked on it. It's literally the same message she is saying right here. If you don't like the games, don't buy them. If you don't like Sweet Baby products, don't buy them. However, Alyssa Mercante views what she...
And by the way, I'm going to point this out. This is a little bit off topic, but in regards to Sweet Baby Inc. Detected, here's the crazy part. If the games that Sweet Baby Inc. worked on were actually good games, the Sweet Baby Inc. Detected thing would not fucking matter. That's one thing that people like Alyssa Mercante and Fucksticks at Kotaku either don't realize or don't care about. Because if the game in question is a good game and people enjoy it, that will literally override anyone that puts out something like Cabrutus put out for the Sweet Baby Inc. Detected. I mean, like, okay, Sweet Baby Inc. worked on this game, avoid it. That would be completely overridden by people playing the game and saying, hey, this is actually a good game. Because there are enough game reviewers out there with huge fucking audiences that if they played a game that was worked on by, insert DEI here, and they said, no, what, this game is really good, the Sweet Baby Inc. detector would mean nothing. But because she and her ilk read like fucking crazy about it and tried to get him canceled, and the games were absolute dog shit, they only proved he was right. That's all they did. They only lent credence to what he did and said. If they'd kept their mouths shut and actually made a good game, his list would have meant nothing. Absolutely nothing. But because the game was shit, and they read their heads off about it, they only proved, without a shadow of a doubt, that he was 100% on the ball. They basically were the congratulations, you just played yourself meme. Bravo.
He's saying right now is some girl boss move, but earlier this year she was making articles and framing what Cabrutus and Sweet Baby Inc. detected was doing as harassment. The irony and the hypocrisy is insane. It's through the roof. I mean, it should be expected at this point, but still, it's pretty flabbergasting to see how just lacking of self-awareness a lot of these people are. And of course, with this quote too, we'll take you up on that. Like, that's what we want to do anyways. We're not going to support garbage, just because we want to support virtue signaling points like people, these activists do all the time. But also, have to point this out. This is now a part of a legendary collection right here. Let's hear some similar comments made in the past on this same sort of logic.
And if you don't like my politics, don't buy my book.
But, by the way, I'm reasonably sure, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure, was this the one that wrote I Am Not Starfire? Or is this the one that wrote, like, Gotham High? It was one of those two. It was one of those two books that she wrote. And both of which were dog shit. I can't remember if she yeah, she wrote either it was either I Am Not Starfire or it was that like Gotham High book, which was a bullshit, fan fiction. Was it the High Republic one? She wrote one of those High Republic books. Okay, that's why. The High Republic books that no one gave a shit about? Okay. Then, yeah, people did not buy her book. And her book failed. Her book absolutely failed.
Period, queen.
We be a bit nicer, a bit more self-reflective, and we enjoy the fact that people are working hard to make free content for you. If you don't like it, don't watch it.
Peace.
Problems.
Classic.
Plenty of games out there for you to buy. If you don't like this, don't buy it.
Unbelievable. Straight to the...
And then they start reading, like, why aren't you buying my shit? Why aren't you watching my shit? And when people say, well, you told us if we don't like it, don't buy it or watch it. And their immediately response is, and you took me at my word?
The archives preserved forever. Yeah, as you can see, unfortunately for Alyssa, the last two examples there, they did not end very well. When you tell people to just not support you, if they don't like you, well, guess what? That's exactly what they're going to do. They're not going to support you. Now, there's one more small portion of this I want to play for a reason I'm going to explain in just a second.
Like, I want them to understand that, like, this is for you, like, in a real way.
Okay, so very brief statement there, but I bring that up because that individual is named Khalif Positivity Peddler Adams.
Oh, God.
Who has always been involved in the related discourse, constantly talking about any sort of various topics we talked about today in that film we were looking at, but he is someone, again, if we're talking support, he is someone who has a reputation for constantly publicly begging for codes. He doesn't want to actually pay for these games he's claiming he supports. And recently he got clowned on for asking for a Dragon Age code. Like, he can't play the game without the code. And even people on his own side were saying, this is embarrassing, this is a bad look. You're giving these right-wing grifters ammo, be smarter. And then he replies with all this cope and then says, be better.
Yes, use code blankety blank at checkout, but seriously, you feel like this is ammo for them is dumb, especially if you're not going to take into context what I do in the space. Motherfucker! What do you do in this space other than pimp a product and then tell people, buy it for me? Like, and of course, he's pulling the goddamn Falcon and Winter Soldier line. I swear to fucking God, the only people I hear pulling out the be better bullshit are activists. Those are the only people that pull off this line. So basically all they've done is made it that much easier to identify them. Doing this shit. If someone says to you, be better, you know immediately, Okay, you're an SJA, which means you possess no brain, which means we're done talking. Have a nice day. Kratos used that line in the new God of War? I wonder where that came from, then. I wonder who injected that line into the new God of War. And yeah, he wants to be involved with the new Dragon Age game. He's pimping it like fucking crazy, but he won't spend $60 to buy it himself. What a cheap little bitch.
Yeah, I get it, right?
Oh, the
Access
2018?
media.
Okay.
Your job gives you the ability to get these codes, but it's a very bad look for someone who claims they're supporting these various studios to go out there every single time a new game's coming out and saying, please give this to me for free. It's kind of ridiculous. And on top of that,
you know what? I fully believe that no journalist should be given free access to a game. The gaming industry needs to eliminate media copies. Fucking get rid of them. Get rid of the media copies. If a quote unquote journalist wants to review your game, let them fucking pay for it. Do not give journalists free copies. Any journalist. Because you know what's going to happen? You're going to get the real gamers that are like journalists, which are basically the YouTube ones. The actual real gaming journalists are on YouTube now. You will not find them anywhere else outside of YouTube. They will actually spend money to buy your game, play it, and review it. So, just, devs, stop giving out codes to journalists for free copies of your game. Just stop. Make them pay for it. Because you know what? If the game journalists actually have to pay for it, they might actually look at it critically and give an honest review. Now, I understand why devs are giving out free copies because they want that sweet, sweet free publicity. Don't think I'm ignorant to this. I'm fully aware that they give out journals copies because they want the games, they want stuff to be in these journalists' websites and whatever, and they want word to get out about it. So yes, they give out the free copies because they want the publicity. Yeah, and Mouse, exactly. Most people do. Nobody trusts a game quote-unquote journalist anymore. Nobody. I'm shocked that there are actual game journalist publications anymore because nobody trusts a fucking thing they say. My guess is they're hanging by a thread and they're barely making ad revenue to just survive. Oh, 100% Aspor. That's also what they're counting on. You know, the devs are counting on, okay, if we give these journalists free copies, they're not going to be critical of our games and they're going to tout it as being good. And that's free publicity for us.
He has a connection to this whole film itself way back in March of last year, where he helped try to raise funds for Black Sparrow Media by giving them a spotlight on his podcast here. But the thing that's odd about this, and the reason I'm pointing this out, is because it appears that Black Sparrow Media already had a fundraiser for this film, which is kind of interesting because you can see it's a dead link, by the way, it doesn't work anymore, and it's Gaming While Black. So it's a fundraiser specifically for the film we're talking about, but that is no longer available. And that's kind of odd to me. Like, what was that initial fundraiser for? Was it for something else? A different stage of the production? Or are they simply getting rid of that previous one and kind of double dipping with the current one by re-releasing the fundraiser campaign on a different platform? Just something to pay attention to.
Yeah, are they scamming? Are they going to be taking money and then say, oops, it didn't work out. Sorry, thanks for the money. Bye. Huh? Are we going to be hearing about this in the future of Black Sparrow Media was running a scam? I wonder.
But I also bring up Khalif Adams because we have this photo right here of Alyssa Mercante and Khalif back in November at Compulsion Games. Why is that relevant? Well, there's a lot of drama going on currently with Compulsion Games, and there's been drama going on for quite some time. Okay, they are based in Montreal, and they are developing the game South of Midnight, which features a race swap.
Wait, but they're Montreal. Why is Montreal developing a game taking place in the U.S. Deep South, in the Bayou? I mean, how can people in Montreal have any idea what life is like in the Bayou? How could Montrealers tell the story of Southern Louisiana girl in the Bayou? No, that's cultural appropriation. And yes, I'm bullshitting right now. Okay, that's why I made sure I said it, Zab, because maybe my sarcasm wasn't coming through. I'm being 100% sarcastic about this. I'm basically lampooning the idea of cultural appropriation.
Montreal, and they are developing the game South of Midnight, which features a race swap, and also it makes a lot of sense when you think about it.
Race swap? What? I'm now confused. How is South of Midnight a race swap? It's taking place in, like, the Louisiana Bayou or something. I don't even get it. I'm now really fucking confused. I am really fucking confused why South of Midnight is considered to have a race swap. I figured that from the word go that the lead character was supposed to be a black girl. Maybe I'm wrong? I don't know. Zen, I have no idea. Okay. Yeah, someone Google South of Midnight, ignore the game part of it, and see if there's an original story called South of Midnight that has a completely different character.
Because they are a Sweet Baby Inc. client. This is the old client list, and you can see Compulsion Games right here. Now, recently they gave this little teaser of South by Midnight, and people are debating on it. I don't really have much to say on this. Either you like it or you don't. That's pretty much the mixed reaction to this. There's not really a whole lot to see other than just jumping around here, right? But people are now raising some previous...
I mean, I'm guessing a lot of people are getting... What's that game that came out with that people hated? It was like that game that came out last year. It was the girl was in New York. She gets transported to this fictional world. She ends up getting this magical cuff that can talk to her, and she can use magical powers. Forsaken. Thank you, Elge. Yeah, this feels like. Tell me I'm wrong, but this kind of feels like it's
South
just
a
Louisiana version of Forsaken.
People are debating on it. I don't really have much to say on this. Either you like it or you don't. That's pretty much the mixed reaction to this. There's not really a whole lot to see other than just jumping around here, right? But people are now raising some previous grievances involving this company and also one of its community managers. Specifically, this Katie person, the @Pika Chulita, who has said, honestly, I hate gamers. She also said this, talking about the scum-sucking filth in the gaming community. She said, we also need to be very honest about the elephant in the room. The majority of the perpetrators are white/white adjacent.
So, Kate is a racist. That she just basically outed herself. She is a fucking racist and a sexist. She is a racist misandrist. Thank you for broadcasting this, Kate. I will now take absolutely none of what you say seriously. And will treat everything that you say as absolute bullshit. That's the one benefit to this. These people are outing themselves so freely and proudly that you can basically tell, okay, they're full of shit, and we should listen to nothing what they say. The race swap is from a guy who allegedly spoke to a dev and was told the character was originally going to be white. Really? That's the supposed race swap? Okay, I don't count that as a race swap. That's just they decided to, instead of it being a white guy, being a white girl, they decided to go with a black girl. That's not a race swap. Sorry.
Cis hetero men. I gotta ask, what the F is wrong with y'all? Okay, that's pretty disparaging. Also, Smash JT would point out that
Ripple.
in a interview, she would also describe white male gamers as a mistake. And don't worry.
Really? So, is Katie Robinson advocating for genocide? Eh? White male gamers were a mistake. So Katie, I'm going to put this out to you. Feel free to respond to my Twitter if you would like, if you have the stones for it. Are you advocating for the genocide of white male gamers? Because that's the only context in which this makes sense. This makes it sound like you had any fucking choice whatsoever that white men wanted to play games. So are you purporting yourself, Katie Robinson, as some kind of gaming dictator? Where if a white man that you should have seen this coming and should have eliminated white male gamers before they could start enjoying games? 'Cause that's what this fucking sounds like. Okay? And I'm gonna tell ya, I got a bit of a fucking problem with that, sweetheart. So please, come at me. I've been a little bored lately, and I relish the idea of stomping your ass into the ground.
That label of white gamers actually expands, as she kind of hinted at earlier.
There we go. There we go. Here's the racist in action. Asian and white, aka white adjacent. So she's racist against Asian people too. She's racist against white people, and she's racist against Asian people. So, Kate is a racist. Again, thank you for shouting it from the rooftops, you fucking racist cunt.
Asian people as white adjacent. So I guess welcome to the team, any Asian viewers right now. I guess you're white now, according to this person, but you can see that coupled with her post talking about how she's proud to announce that she has joined the Compulsion Games team as the community manager.
Of course you can, Eki.
And it's just hilarious because what happened? All that drama happened earlier this year in March with her tweets.
By the way, look at her bio. She, her, bi and pansexual. Okay, I guess I don't fucking know. I don't focus on ethnicities. I don't care what color your skin is. Yeah, but I'm more, at the moment, I'm more focused on the fact that she's admittedly pansexual, meaning she literally fucks anything. This woman literally is openly admitting she'll split her legs for anything. Like, maybe even more than human beings. I don't fucking know. Pansexual means you literally fuck anything. So, bi is fine, but you threw pan into it? I'm sorry, I want to look at your browsing history. Because what the fuck are you fucking, lady? Do we need to be calling the authorities, either Child Protective Services or the fucking Humane Society?
And she's just still there. except she's now private, like everyone does.
No
All
shadows,
these people,
I will not.
What they do is the second they get criticism, they just go private and hope everyone forgets. And unfortunately, that's not the case. And the bio here is just hilarious. But anyways, I want to show one more thing, just because we saw Smash JT raising some of the points, where he also raised that Compulsion Games has preemptively blocked him, so he can't actually engage directly with that teaser for South of Midnight. But some people are starting to argue with him, saying, good, I can't stand you idiots either. And he says, I don't even know who you are. And then this person says, studios need to start blocking more of you clowns.
What?
You don't like a game, go play something else.
So are you so terrified of someone saying, I don't like your game, that they're gonna block you? And these fucking sycophants are gonna go after them because, God forbid, someone have an opinion? That's what they don't like. They don't like that someone has an opinion that is not theirs. That is a classic staple of people like this. You must have our opinion, or you're a scumbag, or an ist, or a phobe, or whatever. God forbid you have your own independent thoughts. Which is yet another reason why it's so glorious to watch projects like this fail abysmally.
Wow, I guess they really didn't learn their lesson. They're using that same logic again. Well, challenge accepted. Yeah. We will not be buying this game. But anyways, long story short, that is the connection between this film and some of its participants and the current drama with Compulsion Games. As you can see, despite the industry being so big, often can feel so small, where it's like the same bad actors coming together all the time to cause trouble and to add gasoline to the fire. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
Yeah. Well. So, not only are we dealing with failed gaming and gaming devs, we're not only failed game devs, but failing studios trying to create documentaries about the failing game devs. That's even funnier. It's like fail inception.